When you have expectations, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. People have their complexities. They have their heroic moments and their villainous moments, too. I think you have to let go of this idea that you can be precious about everything, and let it be the abstract mess that it is. If you're going to commit to that, you're going to have to find some way to make it bearable and enjoyable. I think we can all use a little more patience. I get a little impatient sometimes and I wish I didn't. I really need to be more patient. I feared disappointing my father more than anything in the world. We might be too proud to admit it as guys, but we still need to learn how to manage responsibility, how to face our challenges. I'm pretty good at surprising friends and family with gifts. I tend to go towards the more sentimental side of giving. I never took acting classes, but I knew I could do it based on the skill with which I lied to my parents on a regular basis. A well-tailored suit is important, and I don't like wearing belts with mine. It should be tailored to your body. By the time I came to LA, I'd already cried on Movies of the Week with two of the women from Knots Landing. I was a really nervous kid. I was extremely sensitive, incredibly perceptive. I just love bikes. It's not the safest passion to have, but I guess it's better than Russian roulette. Even if my father wasn't speaking to me, he would never, ever miss a baseball game. Guys are lucky, we can wear a suit over and over, just with different shirts and ties. Green Lantern I screen tested for twice. I fought for the role, and I'm glad I did, because I felt like I earned it. We started training a month before the movie started, and then by 5 months in, we were at our peak shape. It was comical because you're at a firing range. All these people are so seriously shooting their little guns. I think every relationship is going to go through a few rough patches. Those are what make it stronger, I think. I'm not a hockey fan, which is probably why I had to leave Canada in the first place. I love Canada. It makes a nice hat for America. When America runs out of water, it's the first place I'll go. When your dad's a cop, calling 911 is really just like calling dad at work. Any great director is also someone who is incredibly intelligent about whom they hire around them. I don't personally believe that villains exist. Villains are just a way of saying that somebody has an opposing conviction. A producer is someone who actually calls the shots. An executive producer is just a guy that eats more food at craft service. I come from a family of cops, and all of them share that understanding that they put their lives on the line. I'm a bit of an M&M nut. I like the blue ones. I picked them out. I firmly believe that you can't manufacture chemistry with anyone, let alone a kid. I'm not one of those actors who romanticizes his trials working out and brags that he can bench press a panda now. My family is as far from a stage family as you could ever possibly find. Marathon running, for me, was the most controlled test of mettle that I could ever think of. It's you against Darwin. I remember that coming to America was scary for me because everything here is just bigger, better, shinier, you know? I'm 6'2", If I need security around me, there's a problem. I've had the pretty good fortune of working with some decent guys and gals. I'll say this, the media wasn't invited to my marriage, and they're definitely not invited into the divorce. It's very tricky to throw a morally flexible character onto the screen and have an audience empathize. It's always an exercise in restraint. I see guys with, like, eyebrow art, and I want to tell them, you don't have to go too crazy on your brows. Take it easy, man. The stunts on the ground I can do, but I've never been good with heights. I think a fragrance is more of a signature than even what you wear. Something you'll remember more down the road than a shirt. You'd be hard-pressed to find more drama in days of our lives than you do in an average job each day. You know, there's nobody where I've said, man, I really want that guy's career. I mean, each of us has to make our own go of it. I did as much as I could in Vancouver. You can only play so many ex-Falcon Crest sons in so many movies of the week before you burn out. I've always just liked working. I like being a working actor. My very worst day on Green Lantern was nowhere near as difficult as my finest day on Buried. I love doing 6 versions of any joke, so if they'll give me 6 takes, I'd love to do it. Character acting is a much braver pursuit than a guy who runs around and intermittently clenches his jaw muscles. There's nothing my brothers and I didn't put a hole in. We turned our home into a Whiffle house. I like doing the mainstream, right down the pike broad comedies as much as I like doing the kind of unorthodox different stuff.